So this year, we talk about every parent a supportive partner. And for this, we need to understand, why is this important to our work as educators? What do we mean by every parent a supportive partner, and how can we make this a reality? So first, why are supportive parents important to us? Let me share a story that has influenced me deeply in my work as education minister. A mother wrote to me in the first few days that I assumed the post, and she said she had only one son, so she was most determined to fulfill her duty as mother, to see him succeed. And she said, I just had this idea. He must be a lawyer. So from the time that he was in primary school, all the way in secondary school, in JC, in the university, I was nagging him all the time, pushing him to work harder and harder, and saying, you must become a lawyer. You better study hard, you better do this, you better go for this tuition and that tuition. But she didn't ask him what he wanted. So she ended the email with, well, I succeeded. He's now a lawyer. But he no longer talks to me. I got a lawyer, and I lost a son. I read the email several times, and you can feel the pain and the anguish and the regret. Why did this mother share her sadness so honestly with me? Because she hoped that we in MOE could help other parents avoid this, spare other children from being forced onto a path that was not suitable for them, that they didn't want. And indeed, parents' expectations and action can shape the course of a child's life completely. So yes, a good school and caring educators can do a great deal. And that's why we have a whole range of different programs. And that's why we have, over the last few years, in fact, over the years, been creating more and more different programs. But ultimately, parents have the greatest impact on the child. If a child goes home to hear, what did you learn today? It helps to reinforce the joy of learning. If a child hears, what questions did you ask today? It helps him to develop a lively and curious mind. But if a child goes home and hears, you got only 48 marks out of 50? How careless of you. You can do better. Stop making careless mistakes. I think the child will grow up very afraid of doing the wrong things, very afraid of taking risks, and very afraid of being inadequate. So, what we do with parents is very important, because a student-centric, values-driven education has to be something that we do together, schools and parents. So what exactly do we mean by every parent a supportive partner? When I speak to teachers, especially beginning teachers, I hear your concerns about how you can engage parents meaningfully. And indeed, we will be firm to draw the line, and MOE will support our educators as long as you're doing the right thing. And MOE will continue to equip our teachers to do this well. So I'm happy that you have at your seat a set of role-playing cards. We have developed them for our teachers and our trainee teachers at NIE. So the cards will help teachers better engage parents productively. And this is our continued effort to deepen the professional training and development and support for our teachers. So do use these cards to share your experiences with each other and to discuss how we can do this even better. Let me also share some stories about how parents can be involved in their children's education journey.
The parent support group is giving full support to the students preparing for their O levels. We want them to do their best. Volunteering, no pay.
Firstly, I was thinking as a parent, I want to connect with other parents as well to share our concern in our children. Secondly is to connect with the school, to get to know more about the school. And of course, lastly is about connecting with our children. When you know more about the school, then you have a common topic at home to talk about during free time.
I just want to be a part of my son's education journey. I want to show him that we are behind supporting him and he's not alone.
Initially, when my son, he found out that I have joined the group, he said, "Mommy, sometimes I feel that I have a CCTV hanging with me," So I start to be conscious about my behavior in school whenever I see him. I try not to approach him. So then he feels good that mother is part of the big family contributing to the school.
Everyone is busy, but if you want to be part of your kids' education, you definitely have to make time to participate so that the kids feel that you are with them in their education journey.
It's very heartwarming when my child came to me and said, "Mom, tomorrow sports day, are you coming?" Yeah, and you feel that, he welcomes you to be part of the event.
On the first day, when I stepped into APS with my son, one of the things that struck me was the booth that had been set up by the PSG. When I spoke to the rest of the parents, and I realized that they all have their own set of problems, and yet they were all like cheerleaders for the children.
At home, I feel like so stressful. I always look at the wall looks at me. I have no one to talk to. After I joined the PSG, I get to know more about life. These schools give us parenting talks, and then all the talks are always relevant to the needs. A few of the students, they find that these parent supports are different. They start to come nearer to us. They even join our group.
Miss Farida is an inspiration to me and she's my buddy. Thanks to her, my mom and I became close friends, very good friends.
Parents are the most important teacher because from young, you are the first person that they will see. So if the parents are unable to become a good teacher to the child, what happened to the child?
Miss Farida, if she wasn't here, I wouldn't be who I am. I would say I can trust her very much.
And I was very touched. What I did is just from the bottom of my heart.
These stories show what we mean by every parent a supportive partner. And just as each child is different, parents also have different circumstances and expectations. But all parents can be supportive partners in their own ways. And this particular video is precious for the many words of wisdom. It's really much a learning journey together. And there are some really wise words to share. Reminds me of certain stories. Miss Sharon Ong said, how do you connect with your child without being a CCTV hovering over the child? And it reminds me that once a good friend of mine came up to me seriously and said, "I am going to retire early to look after my son who is going overseas for his studies. So I'm going to move in with him." I was quite aghast. And I thought, let me try to be helpful. And I said, there's Skype. You can just Skype him, And she said, "Oh, yes. So I'm going to install the Skype. In fact, have two. One in his bedroom and one in his hall. They will be in contact 24 hours a day." And I was so aghast, and I said, how do I help her? How do I dissuade her? So I thought of one magic question. So my magic question was, I leaned over to her and said, "Do you want to be a grandma one day?" And she said, "Of course." So I said, "Well, that does it. Please give your son some time and space to discover himself and don't hover over him all the time. Now, let me share 3 ways in which we hope to encourage every parent to be a supportive partner. First, we bring parents together in our parent support group. And in fact, we have many parents volunteers with us this morning. PSG is a key platform. I've met many of you in PSGs, and you're doing wonderful work. Schools and PSG provide opportunities for parents to grow closer to their children through different activities such as workshops and parent-child camps. In 2012, we provided seed funding to better support PSGs. And since 2014, we have provided top-ups annually. So I'm confident that PSG will continue to do great work in bringing our schools and our students and parents closer together. Second, we empathize with parents and understand what you are going through. On the first day of school, Indrani and Hawazi and I have gone to our primary schools on the first day, and we've met many parents, always anxious and excited on the first day of school. And indeed, this is the first important milestone for our children. And we want to do more to help. So we have developed an activity book to support parents of primary 1 children. The book has many suggested activities for parents and students to help with the transition. And in fact, you can also personalize the book. So if your child is entering P1 next year, you'll receive a copy in November this year, and it will also be made available online for our teachers. Third, we support parents with resources. We share professional insights gathered from parents and educators over the years, as well as international research. We have done so through workshops, networking sessions, our websites, and other resources. And we want to reach out to even more parents. We will be putting more of our resources online, whether it is through our website, emailers, or through social media. And we aim to make Schoolback a great site for all parents. And in particular, we will support parents to play a greater role in education and career guidance. We have enhanced our education and career guidance guidebook for parents and students at upper primary and lower secondary levels. So the guidebook will be ready next month. ECG counselors based at our schools, polys, and ITEs will also work together with students and parents to make informed choices among multiple education and career pathways. You can see from this slide here that we're actually starting very early. This is our MOE kindergarten. And the gentleman in the black t-shirt is a firefighter, telling the kids what it is like to be a firefighter. And you can see how excited the kids are. So with our ECG counselors, we're going to have 50 counselors that will be deployed by October this year, and we'll have 100 ECG counselors by 2017. So we are creating many platforms for our parents to be meaningfully engaged. We appreciate that parenting can be a fulfilling and joyous journey, but it can also be an anxious and challenging one. But we are not alone. We can come together to share, to align our efforts, so that together we can bring out the best in every child.